talk about a subject that a lot of us try to avoid at all costs, but really it's probably one of the most important discussions and things that you need to know about. We're talking with Shelby Volo right now from Abbott Wealth Management. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing really good. You know, a lot of that finance stuff, we just kind of go, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk.
Right over your head sometimes.
Or you hear, okay, well, you should move your RPP into your RSP, and well, the TFSA is, and it's like,
what is all this stuff? It's so many abbreviations.
right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't understand.
No, exactly.
We don't understand. And you're going to try and sort of enlighten us a little bit today.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the main difference between an RSP and a TFSA. And I'm finding a lot of people nowadays are saying, which one should I have? Should I have an RSP? Should I have a TFSA? And there's a lot of different factors that go into it on which one you should choose. So I was looking at an article from Young and Thrifty, and they did some really good little slideshows that I'm going to put up here pretty quick.
Cool.
And it explains them and makes them really simple for people that don't know a lot about investing to understand.
Like, you studied this, and you said there's still a lot of information to take in.
Yeah, I'm as someone that doesn't know how all this works, I can't imagine how they
We have no
grasp
idea.
it sometimes.
We have no idea.
Exactly. So slide 1 here. So this one kind of explains an RSP and kind of just the highlighted points. So it's your pre-tax income. When you make a contribution, you get a little nice tax refund at income tax time when you put money in here. It's really beneficial when you're in a high income tax bracket to have an RRSP because you do get that deduction. And then the intent is when you're older and retired and in a lower bracket, you're gonna kind of have more of a tax break, so it makes more sense for you.
Okay.
And you can borrow from it in 2 ways, your home buyer's plan or your lifelong learning plan, in which case that is a tax-free redemption and the only tax-free redemption you can have from these plans. And it does have to be paid back to your own RSP in a certain time period there. So that's this one here. And then when we
Old but powerful, I like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the tax-free savings account, it came around in 2009. So it's kind of, people are having a hard time with the whole redemption side of this. People look at it more of a savings account, so like a non-registered account or something along those lines. So say you were totally maxed out at your 46.5 for your TFSA for 2015, take out $5,000 and you say, well, I want to put that back in there before the end of 2015. You can't. You've lost your room until the next year when you get it back. So we have seen that CRA's sent out quite a few letters to people because they have double dipped in them,
can't
sort
do
of.
this.
No, you can't, but it's confusing, right? They
Right.
haven't been around that long, and
Right.
people see them more as like that really easily accessible savings account. These are good when you are in a lower income tax bracket where you're not really gonna see a great tax return when you do an RSP. And all contributions are after tax income. So when you do a redemption, it's tax free for you and it doesn't count as income. So when you're getting a government benefit, it doesn't affect any of those. Whereas if you had a RIF income, so your retirement income coming in, it would affect your government benefits. So that's kind of what's handy about this one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then our next slide here kind of gives us a little bit, just the pros and cons here. So like I said, the RSP is a tax deferral. It's not tax-free. So say at this age, you're a high income earner, you redeem $5,000, counts as income, gets taxed, not beneficial.
Right.
So it's great because it's a forced savings vehicle for people. It's not super accessible like a tax-free savings
Yeah,
account
you can't get
is.
out. It's like, I can't go on a holiday with this.
Exactly, totally. And so people are a little bit more hesitant to pull money out of this kind of vehicle versus a tax-free savings account. But like they say here, if you're not reinvesting that tax return, you're kind of missing out on a lot of the benefits of having the RSP. You want to try and put all your tax returns back in there and get more benefits as you go along.
Right.
And then lastly, we're looking at the pros and cons of the TFSA. So they're kind of saying most Canadians earning an income here make enough that an RSP does make more sense. So that's kind of the con of the TFSA. It, like I said, often viewed as a savings account. And investments compound tax-free, so that's also nice. And like I said, it's flexible, it's a savings tool. But at the end of the day, I think if you can afford to have an RSP and a TFSA, then you should probably do
a little
both.
bit of both.
Exactly.
So it's like when you're shoe shopping. You know, you need the basic black shoe, but it's also nice to have something else to complement
Exactly.
that.
You also want some pumps, so.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to look at it that way.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so if people have any questions, obviously they can just come to you guys and you will help them out, because
Yeah.
that was actually great.
Yeah, it was easy to understand.
Yeah, much
Awesome.
easier to understand.
Good.
Definitely.
Good.
All right. Well, thank you so much
Thanks
for
for having
joining us
me.
today. We'll be back in just a moment.